Oh, nostalgia. And trauma. Portable video devices. This is something I'm definitely used to from back in the day, the early to mid 2000s. Most of my family lived like an hour away from, my mom, and my dad. So every weekend, we'd have like an hour-long car trip to our house, to a family member's house, and then an hour-long car trip back. So I had to get used to, entertaining myself with, shit. So, there was the portable DVD players, iPods, all that stuff. But before a lot of that, I had something like Game Boy Advance Video. And hopefully sympathy as well. This was one of the coolest damn things when it came out. Pretty much just full TV episodes of TV shows running at the time for kids on your Game Boy Advance. And yeah, they came in boxes like this, which was definitely a bit different from your normal Game Boy Advance box. They were in a completely different orientation for one. I assume that's because they didn't want to confuse any parents when it came to shows like Pokemon. Pokemon had a couple Game Boy Advance video releases, and you don't really want to confuse those with the Pokemon games. So you had to make sure the consumer knew damn well that Nicktoons Collection Volume 2, that's not the game, those are the videos. The cartridges themselves had to be like a completely different color. Like, they wanted to make sure these weren't like considered full-blown like actual Game Boy Advance games. They're a completely different color. They don't even really have like the standard like ESRB rating or anything like that. These were home video releases on a Game Boy Advance cartridge, which that definitely makes me ask, it's just like, how are they? What the hell do you think? So listen, like back in the day, you made do. Just because this is a stuttery, low quality, low resolution, low frame rate mess, it's still perfectly viewable. And that's exactly what Game Boy Advance Video was striving for. It wasn't striving to be like, an actually feasible way of watching these TV episodes. It was just a method to give kids a way to watch some of their cartoons on the road, on their Game Boy Advance, so they don't have to buy multiple products. And yeah, for sure, I had a couple of these. Feel bad for me. But yeah, I remember having a couple and bringing them to like restaurants early in the morning and just watching them as we wait for our food instead of, talking to people. But hey, it kept me busy. And even now, I still find it very cool to see, full motion video running on a Game Boy Advance. As quality as this is, and saying that makes it sound like it's just like, wow, I consider this quality for the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, this runs fairly well, and they're showing full-blown 11-minute, 22-minute, sometimes full-length feature films on the Game Boy Advance. It's not like a little cutscene here and there in a video game. Nah, these are full-blown like episodes of shows, which, hey, like back in the day, that was a lot to put on one Game Boy Advance cartridge. So yeah, as lame as this is nowadays, and how you can look at this and be like, who the hell would watch this? I the hell watched it, and it was perfectly serviceable at the time. Because when you take a look at Game Boy Advance Video's competition, it had none. This was another personal video device that I had, the Tiger Electronics VideoNow. It had a very similar premise to Game Boy Advance Video, and by that I mean like it utilized like a lot of the same IP. Game Boy Advance Video had a lot of Nickelodeon shows. They had a couple Disney, Cartoon Network as well. And VideoNow really did kind of go for that market. As you can see here, it's mainly advertising Nickelodeon stuff. And what this was like a dedicated small mini DVD player that you just hold like this, and yeah, you'd pop the disc in there and it would play the shows on, that little 2-centimeter screen. And I love that it kind of advertises its downgrades as almost like features. Sharp black and white display. Black and white? This was 2003, you'd think we'd be past that, but I guess Tiger looked at the popularity of the Game Boy throughout the 90s and that wasn't color, so it's just like, hey, as long as you have the content there, people will buy into it. They don't care if it's black and white. I definitely did, and I just was happy to have like these shows that I really liked in the palm of my hands back when, you know, that just wasn't feasible for a kid. And Tiger Electronics definitely took advantage of that. I definitely had a couple VideoNow releases. I had a couple like SpongeBob, Nickelodeon multi-pack releases, all that kind of stuff. But this is a little demo disc that came with most VideoNow players back in the day, if not all of them. And yeah, I remember playing through this one. This one has the SpongeBob episode Band Geeks, as well as like a little promo video for all the other VideoNow releases. And I remember the public domain music that they used in this promo disc, I would listen to a lot. When I was a kid, I would do a lot of thinking about like, oh man, what if I had my own show, my own movie, my own video game and all that. So I would kind of take media that I really liked and maybe soundtracks that were in that media, and I would kind of just like go outside and just like listen to it on like my iPod or, you know, VideoNow. And I would just kind of let my mind go as to if like, oh, what if my show used this music or something, or what would I do in my show or something. And I just have a lot of memories of listening to the promo video on this demo disc because it had that music. And you know what else had that music? I'm pretty damn sure Hasbro Family Game Night 3. I recently played that game, and it absolutely shocked me to hear that music. This is a VideoNow player that's still sealed. I found this on eBay, and I thought, like, why the hell not? I have a lot of nostalgia for the VideoNow brand, and this was the one that I had. However, not the same color. I wanted the one that I had, but I wanted to be able to use it again. And this was the one that I had. A little screen lighter and all. Yeah, I had the green one, and mine came with a little accessory that allowed you to light the screen because it was not backlit. I don't have batteries in this one right now, so, you know. So yeah, it's pretty much just a little handheld mini DVD player. It doesn't play like standardized mini DVDs, just VideoNow mini DVDs. And yeah, you pop it open like this. That takes me back. And yeah, this one already came with like a SpongeBob VideoNow disc. But you pop that in, shut it, and then press play. Damn. Yeah, that brings me back. Yeah, we have all the episodes here. This is one of the worst DVD menus I've ever seen. We can mess around with the contrast here. Sure. And yeah, there we go. This is in a perfectly viewable state. I feel like VideoNow mainly appeals to people who have already seen the shows that they're watching on it, because I'm genuinely curious as to if like it's like, hey, if I hadn't already watched like this show and I didn't already know like what is on screen right now, would I know? Could I be able to tell from this screen? I'm not sure if I could, because even then, I haven't seen this episode in a while. You know, like I'm looking at it all from an angle. It's already a little difficult to tell, like, all right, what exactly is going on here? But this should show you that, hey, back then, quality wasn't necessarily an issue as long as it got the job done, which is all you can really say about VideoNow. This was made for children. So if you ever look at Game Boy Advance video and go like, oh my God, like, how could somebody live with that? Well, I was able to live with that, but I was barely able to survive this. Damn, just like getting next through the chapters makes it sound like it's really struggling. Why does it make that noise? Then that's it. I always liked this preview disc, how it had all the different characters on it. It reminded me of a lot of the VideoNow like promotional material, like they'd use, you know, this disc as a way to advertise like, oh, VideoNow discs and stuff. So, you know, I was like, oh man, I have the VideoNow disc. But I pretty much just need to see this damn promo video. Okay, so I'm not sure if the Hasbro Family Game Night 3 theme is the exact same. Pretty damn close, though. So pretty much, I just wanted to take a look at both of these personal media players from my childhood, personal media players specifically designed for kids, and just kind of go, it's just like, all right, which one was better? It was this one. But I believe VideoNow overall was like inherently like cheaper to just get into, quick and dirty. Just get a VideoNow player, get a VideoNow DVD disc or something. Hell, you got a free one with the player back then, and you know kids will just rewatch the same thing over and over again. So just because this only had like a couple VideoNow promos on it and like one episode of SpongeBob, that one episode of SpongeBob for a kid in the mid 2000s went a long damn way. Game Boy Advance Video was pretty damn cool for the time. You know, like I've said, I found it really cool to see like things on a Game Boy screen that I wasn't used to seeing on a Game Boy screen. So if it was like kind of a 3D looking thing, or if it was full motion video, that was amazing. And yeah, with the Game Boy Advance SP specifically, you know, with portable DVD players, those already had kind of a similar form factor where, you know, they have the clamshell design, and it kind of made the Game Boy Advance feel like a mini DVD player. And, you know, hey, for a kid in the mid-2000s, when you just needed something to do on a road trip, hey, why not add some videos to your Game Boy Advance library rather than just games all the time? It may be because I grew up with Game Boy Advance video cartridges, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as some people make it seem. This is. I feel like this is a funnier curiosity, though. Just trying out VideoNow, just being like, oh my god. This I can definitely see living with. This, I have no damn clue how I made do with this. But that's kind of the joy of looking back at things from your childhood that have been iterated on. Things where we all have smartphones now with the greatest screens imaginable in all of the content we could possibly imagine. But back in 2003, this was okay enough to work with. So overall, I hope you can tell why I'm nostalgic over these things. And traumatized.